BBC Radio Manchester and BBC Radio Lancashire.
Now, tonight we're back with Meet the Author feature, a part of the show where we delve into the pages of contemporary work penned by Asian writers. In 2001, Vinay Jalla made a decision to quit his job as a journalist in India's Silicon Valley, Bangalore, and write a novel. Inspired by the works of R.K. Narayan and Vikram Seth, he set about writing 1,000 words a day. Wow. Now, 12 years, 100,000 words, and a move to Manchester later, he's got it published. And to tell us about his book and his journey, Vinay joins us in the studio. Now, good evening.
Good evening, Talat.
How are you, Vinay?
Yeah, I'm fine, Talat.
It's been a long time since we met. And you used to work out at the BBC as well, online.
Yeah, I used to work on BBC multi-platform on Dragon's Den, both the online and the TV show. And I did a brief stint on Question of Sport as well. And now, talking about my novel.
And since then, you've sort of moved into novel writing, but I take it that's something you've always desired to do.
That's right, yeah. It's always been my passion. Working as a journalist has been a daytime job, but secret passion was always to write a novel and get it published, and that's what I've done now.
So tell us about Warp and Weft. What is it all about, and where did you get inspired about this particular story?
Yeah, Warp and Weft is about a poor boy who aims to become the richest person in his village. I was inspired to write this book after listening to my grandmother, who shared lots of anecdotes about her life in the village of Dharmavaram. So
where is Dharmavaram?
Dharmavaram is a state in Andhra Pradesh in South India. So I concocted a fictitious landscape and invented a fictitious village called Zerivaram.
Right, okay.
And that's where the novel is based.
Okay, so tell us more about this particular character then. How did you then go about exploring? I mean, you know, when people say, yeah, I've created this character, this individual, this personality, and often when you're going around creating characters, you take inspiration from people around you, from stories you've heard. So what was the process for you then?
Yeah, Narayana, he's the central character, the hero of in the novel. Narayana is a poor boy who's got some similarities of myself, really. When I grew up as a child, I used to play cricket on the streets, and that's what Narayana does, although it wasn't called cricket at that time, although they used different forms, crude forms of tools that looked like they played cricket on the streets. So Narayana is orphaned at an early age. He wanders on the streets of Zerivaram.
Okay, and so this is someone who was from a poor background, had nothing going for him, and then the book's based around sort of money, isn't it? And him wanting to acquire money because that will give him power, take him away from the life that he's living.
That's right, yeah. The pretext of the novel is God made man, man made money, money made man mad. So if you look into how people are, I mean, everybody needs money, and this
a necessary evil. Then.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you need money, but you don't need to have. You don't want money. There's a difference between. So Narayana, because he was a poor boy in the village, he aspires to become the richest man in the village. A tall ambition, and he does. Face a lot of obstacles.
And now, when you're talking about obstacles, I mean, okay, let's take it. He's from a village. He's from a poor background, and does caste come into the whole scenario? Because if he wants to become the richest in the village, often someone from a lower caste will find it extremely difficult to get anywhere unless they move away from their village in order to move away from that identity in order for them to succeed.
That's right, yeah. The novel is set in the 1930s. That's when caste system was prevalent in India at that time. But I haven't delved too much into the caste system, although there are certain shades of the Brahmin Shudra distinctions in the novel, but I haven't made it very obvious. It's Narayana succeeds only through his grit, determination, and hard work. That's the emphasis I wanted to make, rather than portraying the caste system, which can get a bit tricky at times.
Right. So, talk us through part of his journey then. Does he succeed as an individual?
Yeah, he does succeed. I think there is a bit of luck involved as well. Once you read the book, you will know luck plays a big part in his success, and he does listen to lots of people. He consults astrologers, palmists on the street, and I think he destiny. He knows his destiny, kind of, but he doesn't know how to achieve, how to get there. Although the astrologers mention about his future, but he doesn't quite believe. But although he listens to them, and he kind of, I think he's got his own self-confidence. He builds his self-confidence by working hard. I think hard work is the best way to succeed.
I see. And let's talk a little bit more about the process of your writing then, Vinay. And what I want to know actually is a little bit more about your grandmother, because she was a big influence on you, wasn't she?
Yeah.
So tell us about your grandmother then. How was that? What sort of influence came from her?
Yeah, my grandmother, she's 80 now, bless her. She is in India. Growing up in a joint family, my grandmother was the closest member the closest person in my life. I lost my mother when I was young, so my grandmother was a replacement, really.
Yeah.
She brought me up, and she instilled all the values that I carry forward to this day. And she has been a great source of strength in my life, and her background, her life in the village of Dharmavaram kind of really inspired me to write about her and her struggles in her village, and how she came to the city and then became like a city lass, and that kind of the journey from a village to the city, that kind of really
she must be quite proud of you now after.
She is. Because I've dedicated the book to her, although she can't read and write English. But yeah, she's chuffed about it. And
right, I can imagine. Now, this has taken you quite some time to write, and tell us about the process of you out in the open spaces in India writing. I mean, what was it like? What was going on through your head? You know, we hear from many authors, like J.K. Rowling, sitting in the cafe writing out her, the Harry Potter series there. And Vikram Seth, obviously, you had inspiration from him. He's The Suitable Boy was a very lengthy novel, wasn't it? So still, I haven't got around to finishing it either. So what was the process like for you? What did you have to go through then?
Yeah, I think because I left my job, my day job, I was very focused on trying to complete this novel, and obviously inspiration was R.K. Narayan and is R.K. Narayan. So I set a target for myself to write 1,000 words a day, amidst sitting in the library, amidst distractions and all that. Nothing bothered me really, because I was so focused. I wanted to get this done. I managed to write about 250,000 words, which is quite an achievement for a first draft, but I had to edit nearly half of it, or more than half of it, I was really confident that it would get published in the UK by HarperCollins or Random House and one of the big publishers. But as you know, there is always rejections.
Was that hard to take?
I approached lots of publishers, and I did. I thought the best way to get this published is travel to the UK. So that's what I did in 2001. In the cold winter of 2001, my novel received an even colder reception. It was widely ignored by publishers. So after endless rejections and divorcing a couple of literary agents on the way, I had one literary agent based in Manchester. I decided to approach Amazon last year to get it self-published, and thankfully
that seems to be the way forward for lots of writers who are struggling.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think it's you need to once it's out there, then people realize the potential of your novel. And now I've got a couple of offers from India. They want to release the Indian edition in a huge scale. So
and
that's
I
really
suppose
good.
once you make it big in India, considering the population, then
Yeah,
you
1
can say
billion.
it's you can say it's you're getting somewhere then.
Yeah. That's
Right.
it. And in the UK, it's being sold by Waterstones, W.H. Smith, and Blackwell.
Okay. And finally, Vinay, if someone was to pick up this novel, how would you convince them to say, right, you need to get this novel? Because what would it offer? Sum it up in a couple of sentences if you can, even though you've written well over 1,000 words a day. I'm sure it might be a bit of a task to put it down to one sentence. But sell it to us then. Why should we go out and buy this book?
Anybody who loves to read a good story will appreciate my book. And the book rekindles the art of handloom weaving, which is a lost art where power looms have taken over. Handloom weaving is where you weave the sari. It takes about a week to weave a sari compared to the power loom. So that itself is a plus point where I've rekindled the art of handloom weaving in the 1930s, and some of the forgotten customs and traditions of pre-independence era, especially the South Indian customs and traditions, are richly portrayed. And you can take the pleasure of reading about silk saris, as I mentioned, and also the joy of eating an uttapam. Uttapam is a traditional thick rice pancake served with spicy coconut chutney.
Yeah,
So
I've had that.
there's
It's very
plenty of
nice.
food in the book, so
Right,
you'll
so
relish
plenty of
them.
things to take inspiration from that book, and you're talking about obviously South Indian culture as well, aren't you? Really,
That's right.
most people are accustomed to Bollywood, but maybe the southern film industry might be interested in your book too. You never know.
Never
But
know.
Vinay, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck with the book.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Talat. Thanks.